Welcome back, everyone, to another REACHLaw deep dive. Today, we're going to be zeroing in on a pretty significant regulatory update out of India.
Right.
It has to do with the Bureau of Indian Standards,
BIS.
BIS certification.
Right.
And this is all under the Machinery and Electrical Equipment Safety Omnibus Technical Regulation Order of 2024.
Yeah, the OTR.
The OTR.
You got it.
So this is a big one. And with the compliance deadline coming up on August 28th, 2025.
Huge.
We're recording this in April of 2025, so...
Yeah, just about 4 months away.
That's right, so just about 4 months away.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. So it's really crucial that anyone listening that this could apply to really understands what's required.
Absolutely, and anyone that's involved in any way in the supply chain of machinery and electrical equipment in India,
Right.
whether you're manufacturing it domestically, importing it, or distributing it, this OTR really impacts you directly.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do today is just cut through all the noise and give you the essential information.
So let's jump right into it.
Okay.
What exactly is this Machinery and Electrical Equipment Safety Omnibus Technical Regulation Order? We'll just call it the OTR.
Yeah, the OTR. So think of it as like this new quality control mandate that was issued by the Ministry of Heavy Industries in India back in August of 2024.
Okay.
And this OTR is a quality control order, or a QCO, that makes BIS certification mandatory
Okay.
for 20 broad categories of machinery and electrical equipment.
Wow, 20.
Yeah, and it's not just about the final product either.
Oh.
This requirement extends to assemblies, sub-assemblies, and even individual components.
So it's not just like if you're making a big piece of machinery, the whole thing has to be certified. It's like every little part of it.
Correct.
So really the entire...
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang. Yeah. So, okay, so the headline here is, if your product falls within these 20 categories,
Yeah.
you absolutely must have this BIS certification before you can even sell it or distribute it in India.
100%. You got it.
This is a non-negotiable.
That's the golden ticket
It's the golden ticket. Yeah.
to the Indian market for these goods.
That's right. So now who needs to make sure that they have this ticket punched?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's actually a wider group than just the manufacturers.
Okay, let's break it down then, starting with those who are based outside of India.
Okay, so if you are a foreign manufacturer and you are exporting this machinery and electrical equipment,
Right.
and that includes all the parts and pieces we just talked about that fall under the OTR,
Right.
you're required to obtain DIS certification as a foreign manufacturer.
Okay.
A really important part of this process for you is going to be appointing an Authorized Indian Representative, or an AIR, and this Authorized Indian Representative will essentially act as your local point of contact
Right.
for all BIS-related matters in India.
Okay, so they're kind of the go-between.
Exactly. It's a crucial role.
Okay, so that's foreign manufacturers.
Yep.
Okay, so what about our listeners who are manufacturing these products inside of India?
So domestic manufacturers are not off the hook. Any Indian company involved in manufacturing the equipment and components covered by the OTR needs to secure that BIS certification for their products as well.
Okay, so they work directly with the BIS.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's really
across the board.
across the board. It's about a consistent standard
Yeah.
of quality and safety.
Whether the product's made here or abroad.
Okay. Now, this is something that I think is super important to point out.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the manufacturers who have a responsibility here, right?
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Importers, suppliers, and distributors in India, they also have a big role to play, even if they're not the ones manufacturing.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. Let's say you're a company in India.
Right.
And you're importing a machine, let's say, that falls under this OTR.
Okay.
But you're not the one who actually made it.
Right.
What do you have to do?
Well, they need to make sure that the company they're importing from that foreign manufacturer has obtained the necessary BIS certification for that product
Okay.
by the deadline.
By August 28, 2025.
Exactly. So that BIS certificate that the foreign manufacturer gets that covers the products that the importer in India is bringing in.
So it's really important, I guess, for businesses in India to be talking to their suppliers overseas.
Communication is key here. You can't just assume that the product you're getting is compliant.
Yeah.
You have to check with your foreign partners and make sure they've gone through that whole BIS certification process.
Yeah, this is a shared responsibility throughout the supply chain.
Absolutely a shared responsibility.
Okay, so that's a critical takeaway.
Yeah.
So now we've talked about the types of products broadly.
Yeah.
How do companies pinpoint whether or not their specific machinery or electrical equipment is actually covered under this OTR?
So the OTR covers a very wide range of products encompassing hundreds of specific items.
Wow, hundreds.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
yeah, across various industries too, from heavy industrial machinery to, broad spectrum of electrical equipment.
Wow.
So the definitive way to determine if your products are included is by checking their specific harmonized system, or HS codes.
HS codes.
Okay, and these are internationally standardized codes that are used to classify traded goods. So it all comes down to those HS codes. So the exact exhaustive list of HS codes
Yeah.
is not something that we can run through here just because of its sheer length, but it is crucial for you to identify the correct codes for your products. And our experts at REACHLaw India have the resources to help you with this.
Great.
So if you're unsure whether your specific machinery or electrical equipment requires BIS certification under the OTR, we strongly encourage you to reach out to them for assistance in determining those relevant HS codes.
Okay, perfect. And we'll provide that contact information at the end of our deep dive.
We will.
So step one for everyone listening is to figure out
Those HS codes.
those HS codes for their products.
Exactly.
Okay, now we understand what this regulation is.
Yeah.
We understand who it applies to.
Yep.
Let's talk about why compliance isn't just a suggestion, but it's absolutely essential.
Okay, so there are several compelling reasons
Okay.
why getting BIS certified by the deadline is non-negotiable. And the most immediate is market access. If your products require BIS certification under the OTR, and you don't have it by August 28, 2025, you simply will not be legally allowed to sell them in India. It's a firm barrier to entry or continued operation in that market.
So you're completely shut out.
That's right.
Okay, are there other downsides?
Yeah, so beyond the market access issue, there's also the potential for major disruptions to your supply chain.
Okay.
This is going to impact everyone. Foreign manufacturers trying to get their products into India, domestic manufacturers who might be using components that aren't certified,
Right.
and of course the importers, suppliers, and distributors who are relying on a smooth flow of goods.
So it could create a real bottleneck.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of safety and quality. The BIS standards are there to ensure that the products meet certain safety and quality benchmarks. So by complying with those standards and getting certified, companies are really showing that they're committed to consumer safety.
Right.
And to maintaining a certain level of quality in the Indian market. But it also safeguards your brand's reputation.
Yeah, reputation is huge.
Huge in today's market. Trust is paramount.
Absolutely. And it also prevents the market from being flooded with substandard goods.
Exactly.
So it's about keeping those inferior goods out and at the same time creating a fairer playing field for companies who are dedicated to making and importing high-quality products. And finally, there are the legal consequences.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around with those.
No.
Non-compliance can lead to penalties, legal challenges, and even disruptions to your entire business operation in India.
So it's not just about paperwork.
No, it's about your ability to operate legally and effectively in the Indian market.
Okay, so a lot at stake here.
Definitely.
This isn't something to take lightly.
No.
All right, so for our listeners who are maybe realizing just now that the clock is ticking,
Hey, doctor.
what are the immediate steps they should be taking right now in April 2025?
So the very first thing you need to do is definitively verify that HS code for each of your machinery and electrical equipment products.
Right.
Determine if they fall into the scope of the OTR and are therefore subject to the mandatory BIS certification.
Okay.
And if you're at all unsure how to find or interpret those codes, don't hesitate to reach out for that expert guidance.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
So step one, know your HS codes.
You got it.
What follows that?
Step 2 is to clearly define your role in the supply chain
Okay.
and take the appropriate action based on that role. So if you are a foreign manufacturer, you should initiate the BIS certification process immediately. And this involves understanding the requirements, preparing the necessary documentation, and crucially, appointing that authorized Indian representative to manage the process on the ground in India.
Okay, and for those who are manufacturing within India?
If you're a local manufacturer, you also need to begin the BIS certification process without delay. And this will involve contacting the Bureau of Indian Standards directly or working with a certification service provider to navigate the application testing and inspection procedures.
Okay. To the importers, the suppliers, and the distributors.
For you, the most critical immediate step is to reach out to your overseas suppliers. Now you need to inform them about these new BIS certification requirements under the OTR.
Right.
And ensure that they have already begun or are about to begin the process of obtaining foreign manufacturer BIS certification
Okay.
for the products that you distribute in India.
Got it.
Remember, their certification is essential for your continued ability to legally sell those goods after August 2025.
So across the board, it sounds like the key actions right now are information gathering,
Uh-huh.
understanding your HS codes, and then immediate communication and initiation of the certification process based on your role in the supply chain.
Absolutely, you got it.
All right, so finally, who's going to be responsible for making sure that everyone is complying with these new rules?
So the Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS, is the designated authority responsible for enforcing this Machinery and Electrical Equipment Safety Omnibus Technical Regulation Order of 2024.
The OTR.
Yeah, the OTR. They'll be overseeing compliance and ensuring that only certified products are allowed to be sold or distributed in India after the deadline. And the Ministry of Heavy Industries has also indicated that they're working on awareness programs and an online registration system for original equipment manufacturers, including foreign entities and their subsidiaries, to help facilitate compliance.
That's great.
Yeah,
So expect active monitoring and enforcement from the BIS. All right, so this new OTR is really a significant development.
it's a big one.
It's a big one. And with the August 28th, 2025 deadline rapidly approaching, especially now in April 2025, with just 4 months left.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner, swift action is paramount.
Absolutely.
The intricacies of the certification process, particularly for those foreign manufacturers that need to appoint an AIR, shouldn't be underestimated.
That's right. And it really bears repeating that if you are importing, supplying, or distributing these goods within India, ensuring your foreign partners are compliant is just as vital for your continued access to the Indian market as it is for the manufacturers themselves.
Absolutely.
And hundreds of different products under this OTR will be subject to this mandatory requirement. So delaying action is a significant risk.
Yeah, don't wait. All right, so if you need any assistance in determining whether or not your products fall under the scope of this new OTR, or if you require guidance on navigating the BIS certification process and developing your compliance strategy, our experts at REACHLaw India are ready to help.
They're ready and waiting.
Yeah. And you can contact them directly at indiabis@reachlaw.fi.
Yep, our team can help you understand the requirements and develop a plan.
All right, so really take a moment to think about the implications of this regulation for your business and your partners in the supply chain.
Yeah.
What concrete steps will you take today to ensure that you meet that August 2025 deadline
Right.
and avoid any potential disruptions?
Yeah.
This deep dive has provided a crucial overview, and proactive engagement now will be key to your continued success in the Indian market.
Could not have said it better myself.
All right, thanks so much for joining us for another deep dive,
Of course, my pleasure.
and we will see you next time.
See you later.